this is a great day. This is a great day and a great occasion. And this day, today, the National Youth Day, this event that we have gathered together, it is celebrated by Indian Culture Center under the aegis of Embassy of India in association with Indian Sports Center. It was 1984 when the government of India decided to commemorate 12th of January every year as the Yuva Divas, or the National Youth Day. Well, but the main day when it came to execution was 1985, when finally every year 12th of January is celebrated as the Youth Divas, Yuva Divas, or the National Youth Day. I would want to highlight a point here. अगर हम युवा को पलटकर देखें, अगर हिंदी में अगर हम यूथ के बारे में बात करें, शब्द को समझने की कोशिश करें, तो इसे हिंदी में कहा जाता है युवा। एंड युवा को अगर आप पलटकर देखेंगे तो उसका मतलब होता है वायु, जो निकलकर शब्द हमारे बीच आता है। That word that comes in front of us is वायु, एंड वायु वही है जिसमें शक्ति है, जिसमें गति है, जिसमें तेजी है। That means Yuva, this term itself represents power, energy, speed. Well, there is so much so to talk about the teachings and the preachings of Swami Vivekananda. So many things that he has guided us through, taken us through. But then, right now, to begin the show, may I kindly request Mr. Abdullah Poyal, ICC Youth Wing ExCom member, to kindly address the gathering, to welcome them all.
Thank you very much, Anshu Jain. Talk to you once in a day. Otherwise, you may miss a chance to talk to an intelligent person in the world. A great thought-provoking words from Swami Vivekananda ji. The ideologies and teachings of Swami Vivekananda ji, always inspiration and great source of all over the world youth. Good evening to ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to today's our National Youth Day celebration, conducting by ICC in association with Indian Sports Center and ICC Youth Wing. It is so wonderful to see you all here in this evening. India celebrates National Youth Day on 12th January, as Anshu Jain mentioned already, as Yuva Divas. It is the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. Who is Swami Vivekananda? One of the most celebrated philosopher and thinker in the world. All the wordings and phrases of Swami Vivekananda are inspiration for youth in all over India. This year, National Day, celebrating with a theme, it's all in mind. Tuning a mind is very important, and the theme is meant for that. Now let me go to my today's duty. We would like to extend a special welcomes to our First Secretary, Indian Embassy, Dr. Sahil Kumar. A warm welcome, Dr. Sir. He will be delivering his speech later.
Maximum 100 participants.
We would like to extend welcome to our ICC President, P.N. Babarajan ji. Other dignitaries, ICC Vice President, Subramanya Hebagulu ji, ICC General Secretary, KKG, ICBF and ISC dignitaries, and all my youth wing members. I would like to extend my warm welcome to today's our special guest, keynote speaker. She is none other than Ms. Banisha Paitati. I would like to explain something about Banisha Paitati. She is board member of Technology Development Board, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. She is author of several science papers, and she is the winner of best paper in international conference, and she is member of AICT, and she is conferred with the Woman Achiever for the year 2014. We are so happy to have all dignitaries and respected members here in today's evening. Warm welcome. I'm sure today's our keynote speech as well as your presence made us such a happiness as everyone in India, all the dignitaries, everyone is respecting the youth. Really proud of being a youth, and as well as you all already covered or all already here in the youth era. I'm so excited to know all the new faces from the youth wing, as well as all the dignitaries. Really happy to see everyone in this special occasion. Today's the ICC Qatar is tirelessly helping youth wing to empower Indian youths here in Qatar. We have gratitude to our ICC management and the president for bringing us towards the front of Indian youth and in Qatar new face. We are so glad to you all have here, and we all are looking to hear the keynote speaker speech. I would like to welcome everyone warmly. I would like to conclude my words with, be a hero. I have no fear. You need to say, I have no fear. Over to Master of Ceremony, Anshu Jain.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah, for your generous words, kind words. Well, as he rightly said, that one factor that Swami Vivekananda truly and deeply believed in was in the power of youth. He saw hope for the future in every child and believed that with muscles of iron and nerves of steel, they could bring about social change. And Swami himself personified the eternal energy of the youth and a restless quest for truth. And today, if we see, almost 50% of India's population is under the age of 25. The future of the country rides on their shoulders, making celebrations that empower young people so important. Ladies and gentlemen, Indian Cultural Center under the aegis of Embassy of India has always strived to cover all the important occasions. And today, this National Youth Day celebration, which is in association with Indian Sports Center, which is brought to you by Indian Cultural Center, is definitely one of the most important occasions to realize the importance of youth, not just here, but across the globe. Well, to talk more about the importance of this event and what is Youth Wing all about of Indian Cultural Center, may I kindly request the President of Indian Cultural Center, Mr. P.N. Baburajan, to address the gathering. May we have you on the screen, please?
Respected dignitaries, dear friends, community leaders, youth wing members, a warm good evening to all. Wish you all belated Happy New Year. Let us live with more peace, happiness, and prosperity. On behalf of Indian Culture Center, it's my sincere thanks to Dr. Shahil Kumar, First Secretary, Political and Economic, for attending today's event as our chief guest. Let me congratulate him for his promotion to First Secretary. Congratulations, sir. Welcome to Ms. Binisha Payatati. We are very happy that such a high-profile personality addressing Qatar-based youths in this special occasion. Thank you, Binisha ji. Thanks to Mr. Vinod Nair, Vice President ICBF, for organizing keynote speaker, Ms. Binisha, for today's event. Mr. Shriji Valiagat, ISC Vice President, will address the meeting on behalf of Indian Sports Center. Welcome, Shriji. This year, India is celebrating nation's 75th anniversary of independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It's very important for us to know more about our nation and our responsibilities for the nation. This year, the National Youth Day 2022 theme is It's All in the Mind. The government of India first declared to celebrate the National Youth Day in 1984 to recognize and honor the teaching of Vivekananda. Since then, the National Youth Day is celebrated across the nation at school and colleges with several programs, including speeches, music, youth conventions, etc. Swami Vivekananda propounded the importance of education in building a nation. He believed that education was the primary means to empowering people. He especially emphasized on education being relevant to the common masses. Swami Vivekananda had an inspirational personality, and his teaching are enough to motivation and goals in life. This situates order in the society. Youth in a nation is its wealth, and if they are aimless, the future of the nation is not bright. Observing the National Youth Day reminds us of this fact. The youth should be motivated and inspired by the teaching of great personalities like Swami Vivekananda. Once again, thanks to all for your participation. I am honored to announce, as a part of National Youth Day celebration today, we received a sponsorship offer from Miss Medha Maitra, daughter of Jaydeep Maitra. She wants to sponsor ICBF life insurance for 10 low-paid workers. Thank you, Medha Maitra. It's a great support from you. From your savings, you want to donate for poor and needy people. That's a big gesture of today's National Youth Day celebration. Jai Hind, Jai Qatar.
Thank you so very much, Babu sir. Well, as this year themes definitely, rightly says it all, that it's all in your mind. And as Swami Vivekananda said, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care of what you think. Words are secondary. Thoughts live, they travel far. Well, these words certainly justify in every manner. We all have gone through enough in the past 2.5 years. And so many campaigns have been going on across the country, across the world to ensure the mental health, the physical well-being of all of us. And in particular, if I talk about Indian Cultural Center, coming up with a wing which is dedicated especially to youth in itself, it speaks volumes. That is the youth wing of Indian Cultural Center. To talk more, we'll have many people talking about what is Youth Wing all about. But before that, it's time to officially inaugurate the National Youth Day, which is celebrated today by Indian Cultural Center under the aegis of Embassy of India in association with Indian Sports Center. And to do the honors, may I please call upon Dr. Sahil Kumar, First Secretary, Political and Economy, Embassy of India. So.
Thank you, Anshu. Thank you, Mr. Babu from ICC. Thank you, Mr. Abdullah, for such a inspiring by quoting Swami Vivekananda and inspiring us all with his words. And I would like to first of all thank the organizers for taking the effort to organize this event. And also, I would like to make it clear that I am really not the chief guest here. The chief guest is all the youth who are participating. So let's be cognizant of that and let's celebrate youth. So, as everyone before me who has spoken has mentioned, that this day is commemorating one of the most important modern thinkers of a time, Swami Vivekananda. He dedicated his life to religious reformations and working towards awakening religious consciousness among people. And he did it at a time when a nation was forming. We were fighting, we were organizing ourselves against the British. We were looking for a national consciousness. And at that time, he took the onus of making the youth realize and take pride in their cultural heritage. That was a big task and a big contribution from him. Personally, whenever I felt pushed along the wall and being troubled, I've always looked to Swami Vivekananda for inspiration. One of his quotes, which remains with me even now, is, "Be not afraid of anything. It is fearlessness that brings heaven even in a moment." The whole idea is about to empower our youth. Today, the youth has the power to revolutionize the world through technology, through new ideas, and through the, let's say, energy. So the entire purpose of this National Youth Day is to reinvigorate our youth and remind them the contribution of Swami Vivekananda so that they can take pride, not just from him, as well as other modern thinkers from India, as well as our old heritage as well, because that's what we want to do. as our youth moves forward and takes the nation forward, they should be grounded in our heritage and connected to their roots as well. Another quality of Swami Vivekananda which should resonate with today's youth was his selflessness and nationalism. Swami Vivekananda's idea of nationalism was based on humanism and universalism, the two cardinal features of India's spiritual culture. Today's youth with a strong work ethic, along with the intention to do good for the country, can help India to transform itself and achieve the heights it's meant to. Also, on this day, I would also like to urge the youth wing of the ICC, as we are facing another pandemic right now, to support all the other Indian community here in trouble and help them out. Because if the youth will not do it, then who will, And so good luck to you on that. And I hope everyone stays safe in this COVID pandemic. And on this note, I'll just end my words. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for taking us through the teachings and learnings of Swami Vivekananda. And certainly the words that you have presented in front of all, and you definitely are the representative of youth for us in Qatar. Well, with that, as it is rightly mentioned, and it is put across by all of us, before I proceed, may I kindly request the host to put me on the spotlight. Well, thank you. Youth, this word itself is the synonym of power, is the synonym of energy, is the synonym of speed. It is said that the future of this world, the future of, in particular, India, lies in the shoulders of youth. The trust which the entire world has bestowed upon us is definitely huge. And to carry it forward, to make sure that the trust which is being bestowed, the responsibility which is being given to us is executed in the right manner, is of great importance. Well, today, to further justify my words, to further take us through the journey of what Swami Vivekananda's teachings has been and what is the importance of youth in everybody's life, may I please call upon our keynote speaker and the guest of honor of this evening, Ms. Benisha Paitati, the board member of Technology Development Board, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, to kindly address the gathering. Well, Mr. Abdullah has already spoken a lot and told us all about how prominent she is and how she has been doing a lot to encourage all the youths out there and what all she has achieved. It's truly an honor to have her with us today. Ma'am, could you please address the gathering?
Thank you. Namaste to all young Indian Parivar of Qatar and also the guests who have joined from across the world. Special wishes to all of you on National Youth Day. I'm extremely honored to be part of Indian Cultural Center's event today and also take this opportunity to thank Indian Embassy of Qatar for giving me this opportunity to be with all of you today. There are some icons who remain relevant with every passing year. 159th year since he was born. And even today, Swami Vivekananda's ideals are still so contemporary. This year's Youth Day is actually a milestone because this millennial generation, which is you, all of you here, is all set to leapfrog to one big change. Of course, the pandemic has formed a clear threshold to draw this cutoff mark. And the optimists clearly point that this change is going to be for the better. Swamiji had ideals and advices given 150 years back, which you can use as guide today to enter this new phase. Swamiji's famous quote, "Man is born to conquer nature and not to follow it." Now, this quote is better understood when we understand the philosophy that man is part of nature. So we should not be scared of nature. We should devise ways and means to actually conquer and overcome the fear and move forward. Just to give some examples, oil is depleting. No problem. We have electric powered vehicles. Oceans are going to gobble the land. No problem. Let us go to Mars. Now, this is not conquering the nature. We need to be one with nature and then think of conserving nature. Now, sustainability is not about finding alternates. So if you have less of oil, then think of some other thing like coal or some other maybe solar power. Of course, solar power is a non-renewable resource, but that does not mean that we are not using resources there. We are again using a lot of metals to make the panels. We are using glass. So when I say not using alternates, what I mean about sustainability is that we have to always think of conserving the resource. So if there is no oil, then think of how best you can actually make use of efficiency, like the best efficient vehicles, so that the oil can be conserved and it is the resource is minimized. So even if we are thinking of alternatives, every resource should be first conserved and the best optimal use should be thought of. Only then it is sustainable. So that is what is conquering. So if plastics are a nuisance, then use paper. This is not how we conquer the problem. And this is definitely how Swamiji, this is exactly what Swamiji also wanted to mention. He did not mean that conquer the nature, but what he meant is how to conquer that nature, to be one with nature. Now, just to draw some examples from nature itself, all animals, birds, and insects always try to minimize and conserve resource as much as possible. Now, what kind of management tactics to adopt to minimize this kind of consumption is the real conquest. How to adapt to changing situations and be one with nature, that is conquering nature. Now, if you just take the pandemic itself, you have seen how the coronavirus has been adapting. It has been mutating. And today, it is like, of course, you're going on coming with some new boosters and new vaccines. So let me also adapt. Let me now make myself very mild so that I am with you, I am living with you, but then not troubling you so much. So this is a kind of adaptability which the virus has finally come through. I mean, this is just a small example, but this is how in nature we can learn so many things, whether it is a virus or whether it is a bird or whether it is an animal. Now, the advantage for you, the millennial generation, is that you don't have to be bogged down like how we as the Generation X, when we graduated, we faced. Because when we were ready to make our living, we had to listen and to also follow our parents, taking us, giving us example that, okay, take up this engineering, maybe civil engineering is better, or you go for medicine. So there were limited opportunities. But today, for you, it is think creatively, become an entrepreneur. Now, that is the kind of advice which the world is giving you. Governments all over the world are encouraging startups. So pressure is for you to think. Now, that is what Swamiji always encouraged. It is a great advantage because everything for you is new, especially after this pandemic. So, which is actually a very good ground for you for startups. It is, I really envy you millennials because of this. if we look at the Indian government, almost every day, each ministry is rolling out new startup challenges. And the year-on-year increase of all the startups, especially in India, is 15%. India has the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, with about 50,000 startups in 2018, creating nearly about 40,000 employment. I'm part of 4 ministries initiatives, which is encouraging these kind of entrepreneurship. So I know the kind of opportunity that is available for you, the kind of SOPs that are available. All you have to do is to actually think creatively. So for you, the youth of Qatar, there is definitely a lot of opportunity waiting for you in India so that you can actually start your own entrepreneurship here. Now, how to think creatively? Now, that's again another major challenge for many of you. Now, for this again, Swamiji has come out with a quote. The very reason for nature's existence is for the education of the soul, which means draw inspiration to conquer nature. That also should be from nature itself. Now, in scientific terms, we actually call it as biomimicry, which means to look at nature for inspiration. So like, for example, you must have heard spider is able to make its web, which is stronger than steel strands. So we now have spider inspired 3D printing robots, which can come up to construction sites and you have fantastic buildings. In my own field of waste management, making the bacteria and plants manage the wastewater treatment and disposal. So here, what happens is you try and adapt and try to create a good environment for the kind of bacteria which actually will eat away the waste and then give you very clean water. Similarly, the root zone technology for the plants. So these kind of technologies, all these were actually inspired through nature from that is using the principles of biomimicry. So use these kind of techniques. There's also a latest one where you use how the bandicoots try to go into crevices. So use that to devise some kind of robots which can go to crevices and solve the clogging of drains, which is very common in India. So I'm just giving you all these examples so that this kind of examples will help you to think creatively, to think out of the box. So to follow the advice of Vivekananda ji, get out of your walls, 4 walls, get into your garden, watch the nature. If you're in Qatar, go to the beaches, watch the animals there, the birds there, be one with nature. That will make you an entrepreneur. When you seek solutions from nature, it will be sustainable solution. It's not like, if you're not using these kind of techniques, then you will always think of having alternates. And then you will use more resources. You might have to use more chemicals. You might have to use more power. You might have to use more metals. The kind of even if it is wastewater treatment, then what you would do is have more machinery. But instead of that, if you're looking at examples from nature, then it is going to be very, very sustainable. I was in Qatar 3 years back to discuss a program called Green Campus for education campuses. That is in Qatar, and also a program called Green Sports for the stadiums. Somehow because these kind of programs which we did with AICTE, that's with Ministry of Education, was extremely successful. It is still going on. So we wanted to replicate this in Qatar and that is why I was there. And these kind of programs, actually what we wanted to do was in the Qatar schools and colleges to inculcate entrepreneurship development right from the schools and colleges. And so that when you are out of college, you are already ready to take up entrepreneurship and have your own startup. Somehow this did not materialize, but I'm sure now soon after the pandemic, we can still think about this. Similarly, the Green Sports Stadium, I'm sure what we wanted to do was for the World Cup. We had programs in India with IPL cricket matches where we had phasing out of single-use plastics. So similar thing we could also think of for sports arenas and football stadiums in Qatar. So there are a lot of entrepreneurship opportunities also linked to these kind of programs. So I'm sure we should still explore opportunities. And since the representatives of the sports ICC group is here, and also from the embassy, I'm sure we could work together and create this kind of an atmosphere, an environment, so that we have more and more such entrepreneurship opportunities and sustainability opportunities, and think of Swamiji's ideals and come out with something which is very new and sustainable in this post-pandemic era. So entrepreneurship thinking among the students and the youth, especially in the sustainability sector, is what we are really aiming at. And that is the message which I would like to give you, because India has 440 millennials, that is including you diaspora people. So the highest, which is the highest in the world, which means that actually the Indian youth is going to decide the future of the earth very soon. So that is the kind of power, and that's a lot of power. And I hope all of you will use it wisely and sustainably. So with that words, once again, wishing all of you National Youth Day, and hope by the time the next National Youth Day is celebrated, we will see many entrepreneurs from all of you millennials. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Manisha, for those profound words. Like, it's truly awakening. And as you rightly mentioned, if the youth of a country is well aware and is in charge of their acts, they can bring about some considerable changes in the country. And the greatest wealth and strength of any nation is its youth. And certainly, empowered youth can prove to be the greatest force that drives a nation towards success and prosperity. Well, there is now one such entity in Qatar who has been trying its level best to ensure that all the potential that the youth carry within comes out to the best maximum possibility. And I'm talking about another apex body under the aegis of Embassy of India, which today, in association with Indian Cultural Center, is celebrating this National Youth Day for all of us and has conducted this massive event. And I'm talking about Indian Sports Center. And today we are truly honored to have amongst us the Vice President of Indian Sports Center, Mr. Sheji Valiakat. Sheji, could you please address the gathering and let us know the works which are being done by Indian Sports Center throughout this tenure?
Good evening, everyone. Wishing you all a happy and healthy National Youth Day. And we have a lot of youth in Qatar, and we can see only few in the screen. And I think it's just because of the limit of the participation to 100. And anyway, it's my pleasure to represent Indian Sports Center today at this occasion. Swami Vivekananda, a great philosopher and spiritual leader, has taught us how the youth should participate in the modern world while upholding their values. Youth empowerment was one of the mottos of Swami Vivekananda. This motto can be achieved only through quality education and healthy life. Youth empowerment is incredibly important. It gives our student teams the courage to believe in themselves and chase their dreams. Sport here plays a vital role in the overall development of the children and youth. Our body develops when we intensely engage in exercise and sporting activities. You can easily identify a fitness level from this physique of a person. What we are seeing nowadays is very scary. We see most of our kids, youth are playing games only with their fingertips. Many of our new generation kids are very lazy to be physically active. These days, parents give too much emphasis on the studying. We can see many parents asking their kids to just sit and study 24/7. When parents see the kids sitting idle, they have only one question to ask. Don't you have anything to study? Isn't it? How many of you parents normally ask when you see your child sitting lazy, did you go for cycling? Did you go to play today? Most of the parents have no time for sporting activities for the kids. Parents think that 24/7 study will help to score great marks. But don't you think that young generation also need mental development and physical stimulation to socialize, make new friends, have fresh air, and learn something new outside the school syllabus? We have seen many kids who are active in sports and fitness spend comparatively less time for studies and get better marks than many of the bookworms who are only engaged in studies. The reason is that exercise and sports help them to focus on what they do. Here is the importance of Indian Sports Center and our related associate organizations. We create platform for our kids to develop mentally and physically. We understand that children and youth who are physically active and engaged in sports are more self-confident. They are more active, they are more challenging. Sport is a passion. You know, nowadays sport is one of the highly recognized and paid profession in the world. Sports give a lot of opportunities for new generation to explore. ISC, Indian Sports Center, is trying to identify young budding talents through different training programs and selection camps. One of the main objectives of Indian Sports Center is to promote awareness on a healthy lifestyle. Through sports, we are trying to help youth to make healthy decisions. You know, people who are engaged in sports understand very well the negative impact of smoking, drinking, drugs, etc., and how this impacts their performance. We can also watch this from the weekend lifestyle behavior of our friends. Sport-loving people go to bed earlier than party boys. They get up early, join their friends early morning. This is the habit we need to develop through sports. This helps our kids and youth stay away from bad habits. Sports also teach us how to have discipline and time management. You will watch what you eat, and when you sleep. You can see the sports lovers reaching the ground early, do warm-ups, and get ready to perform. Your body and mind is aligned and focused on a goal to perform. One of the other objectives of Indian Sports Center is to develop social growth and team spirit. I'm sure that many of our long-term strong friendship developed in the grounds. This helps our social growth. These interpersonal skills can be transferred into workplace as well in several ways in future. To achieve these objectives of Indian Sports Center, we have conducted many sports awareness programs for youth, including golf training, yoga sessions, football trainings, chess tournaments, badminton, tennis trainings, etc. We are also planning to conduct an inter-school athletic championship very soon. Developing yourself to be a sportsman or a training towards a healthy lifestyle will contribute positively to your life, be it on your studies, your decision-making skills, time management, your social skill, longer health life, so on and so forth. Your body and mind are machines that run together. So please give emphasis to both studies and sports to enhance your life potentials. I would like to conclude my words with two important quotes of Swami Vivekananda. The first one is, everything is easy when you are active, but nothing is easy when you are lazy. And the last but not the least, arise, awake, stop not until the goal is reached. Thank you very much. And I would like to share a video created by Indian Sports Center. Kindly watch. You can see that, right?
Yes.
Yes. Shiji, why no audio?
No audio.
Shaji, there is no audio in the video, and it seems the video has stopped or it has finished. Shaji, the video seems to stop.
Yeah.
It seems to have stopped.
Yeah, you can start next session.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Shaji, for this for taking us through
I
the
think
journey.
I just got message just now and saying there is no audio. But anyway, no one informed me that. It's okay.
We tried actually putting it across.
Oh, no issues.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for taking us through the work which is being done by Indian Sports Center. It is definitely overwhelming to see all the things which are being done by Indian Sports Center throughout this tenure under the apt leadership of Dr. Mohan Thomas and the entire team, keeping all of us fit and healthy. And as it is rightly said, you will be able to deliver your best only when you are physically and mentally fit. So one such effort is being taken by Indian Sports Center all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, that youth, the power of the nation lies in the youth. And if we talk about the recent contribution of youth in the development of the country, there are many to name, but a few that I would certainly like to recognize today on this occasion of National Youth Day is we talk about Miss Universe 2021, Harnas Kaur Sandhu, or the India's first Olympic gold medalist in track and field, Neeraj Chopra, or the world's youngest author, Abhijita Gupta, or India's youngest PhD holder, Tathagat Avtar Tulsi, the youngest mayor of India, Arya Rajendran, or India's youngest female pilot, Aisha Aziz. We've always seen that youth in India have tried their level best to make us proud in every possible way. And definitely, when we talk about youth in Qatar, one effort which is being taken by Indian Cultural Center to ensure that all the youths in Qatar are getting the right opportunity to express themselves, to come forward, and to actively participate in all the things happening around is the new wing which is being developed by Indian Cultural Center, and I'm talking about the youth wing. But apart from that, there is so much so to talk about that Indian Cultural Center has done in these 1.5 years, and to take us through this journey of all the achievements, all the activities which are being conducted by Indian Cultural Center, may I kindly request Ms. Dishari Roy to address the gathering or to take us through the presentation.
First of all, good evening to all the respected dignitaries present here, MC members of ICC, and the youths of today. So I will share my screen and I will present one PowerPoint and which will take you to the journey to the ICC Youth Wing, which they have participated through this last year. Okay. Am I visible and audible? My screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Today, National Youth Day is observed to honor the ideals and thoughts of Swamiji Vivekananda, who had tremendous faith in youth. People of India celebrate National Youth Day on 12th January every year. The day marks the birth anniversary of the social reformer, great thinker, and philosopher, Swami Vivekananda. The purpose of the Youth Wing creates a platform set direction for young Indian community development with various initiatives. It also provides young Indian a voice that will be heard, supported, and considered by ICCMC in making decisions about activities and programs. Placing youth voice at the center of the wing, ICC Youth Wing can provide an engaging, empowering way to develop, discuss issues, and build youth of Indian community to be global citizens. Role of ICC Youth Wing is to express their ideas creatively and thoughtfully on how to improve communities so that they can be part of community development and learn leadership skills. The vision is, as a community where youth can identify their own solutions and fulfill their needy and important role in society. It is an Indian Cultural Center Youth Wing where youth individually and collectively can express themselves for the youth empowerment. The mission is to Indian youth as they promote skills development, information sharing, to explore their talent and intercultural exchange by conducting seminars, workshops, camps, conferences. Objectives: to create a common platform for all young Indian people can discuss, share, and decide on various issues, to foster and develop increased learning and development opportunities for young people, to build strong relationships, to share our aims. ICC Youth Wing has been inaugurated on 10th August 2021. Today, National Day Celebration is organized by ICC President Mr. P.N. Baburajan, ICC Vice President Mr. Subramania Hebagelu, ICC General Secretary Mr. Krishna Kumar, and all the MC members of ICC, with the support of His Excellency Dr. Deepak Mittal, Ambassador of India to Qatar. ICC Youth Wing Coordinator is Mr. Mohan Kumar Duraisamy. ICC Youth Wing ExCom members have been selected by the MC members of ICC. International Youth Day have been celebrated by the MC members and the ICC Youth Wing members. ICC Youth Wing participation in the events are, the slides have been followed from now. I will play. The journey started off from blood donation drive, which held on 13th August 2021. Next is Vande Mataram, which was a very bright event and very important event. It is celebrated for the 75th Independence Day celebration. Next is Icc Foundation Day Celebration. ICC Youth Wing participated in campaign of ICBF Life Insurance. Next is Hindi Divas celebration, which held on 14th September 2021 at ICC Ashoka Hall. Next, ICC Beach Cleaning Camp, which held at Faraiha Beach on 1st October 2021. Gandhi Jayanti celebrations held on 2nd October 2021 at ICC Ashoka Hall. ICC Youth Wing organized tree plantation on 3rd October 2021. Malhar, it was a great and grand event organized by ICC Youth Wing with the support of the MC members. It is known as a musical journey, which held on 4th October 2021. ICC Youth Wing members got privileged to, ICC Youth Wing members got the opportunity to bid farewell to the charismatic and dynamic principal of Birla Public School, Mr. A.P. Sharma. ICC Youth Wing organized beach cleaning camp on the December with the support of ICC members. Range Mahfil was the great and the grand evening of the December month. It was the last event held at ICC Ashoka Hall on 17th December with the support of ICC MC members. Thank you everyone, to all the dignitaries and the MC members to provide me this opportunity to present this journey of ICC Youth Wing on this auspicious day. Thank you everyone, to all the attendees for joining this event. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dashari, for taking us through the works which are being, the prominent works which are being done by Indian Cultural Center, and in particular the Youth Wing of Indian Cultural Center. Well, of all the things, of all the great ideals and thoughts by Swami Vivekananda, one thing that has touched truly my soul and heart is take up one idea, make that one idea your life. Think of it, dream of it, live on that idea, let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body will be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. And this is the way to success. Well, one thing that we all are looking forward to win at the moment is the pandemic that we are going through. So if we all, unitedly, if we just decide that, yes, we have to combat this, and We have to come over what is going on. There is nothing that can stop in winning this fight against COVID-19. And all we need is to follow all the precautionary measures, be united and be there in support of the entities and authorities who are taking all the measures to ensure that we remain fit and healthy. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open to the screen is open to you all for any kind of questions that you have. If you have any questions related to today's session, if you would want to ask anything to our guest of honor, the keynote speaker, or anything about Indian Sports Center or Indian Cultural Center, you can. Either you can post your questions on the chat, or you can raise your hand so that we can put you on the spotlight.
The questions preferably with Binishaji's speech.
It's truly an honor to have such a great young leader with us today. If there's any query in your mind that you would want to ask to her, Ms. Benisha is all here with us to sort out your queries, any questions which is there in your mind.
I'll take the floor and ask Benisha ma'am a question. It's unusual to have the presence of such people in our midst, so I'll make use of that opportunity. Ma'am, just to probe into your personal experiences, ma'am, what were the challenges, as you rose up, you faced, especially when we are also talking about women empowerment here. So empowering our women youth is also a point of agenda, as we talk about the entire youth. So ma'am, any inspiring anecdotes from your life or the challenges which you face in life and which you would like to share with the people attending the session? That would be really nice of you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. I have worked a lot. I've worked a lot with women and also for women entrepreneurship, with women who are working in the field of waste management. However, if you ask me specifically what kind of problems did I face because I'm a woman, nothing really in particular. I'm sure all of you will be surprised hearing this, but somehow I was so engrossed in waste management, which itself is so challenging. Maybe that's the reason I've never felt that being a woman it was a challenge. So and I started. In fact, I studied also environmental sciences. So it has been a conscious decision that I liked environment. I liked nature. So I knew right from when I was in 11th and 12th itself that I would, if I take up a career, it is going to be something to do with being something with nature and in environmental management. And so I studied also environment, which was something which was not heard of those days. And it was a completely new field in as far as India was concerned. And but my parents, of course, believed in me, and I took up the subject, and there are no regrets at all. In fact, I think this is the best thing that I did. And even in environment, I took up waste management, which was something which was not heard of. And until 2014, when Prime Minister of India took it to the ramparts and announced waste management. So after that, it has been a completely different turn in waste management. So until 2014, we worked in waste management, but there was nobody to listen to us. We were banging at doors, knocking at doors. But after 2014, it was completely different. And today I'm here is only because the kind of leadership which was there, it changed. So that is the reason I'm also telling you, youth, that now is the right time for you to think, because now it is entrepreneurship. How do you take it up in a different way? So waste management is also one of the great opportunities to start entrepreneurship in as a career for you. So that is why you have to always think differently. If I had also thought in the same way and taken up engineering or take up medicine, today I wouldn't be in midst of you. So, but women empowerment, yes, that has been one of the pet subjects. And in any kind of activity that you do, I think now the future is for women, and waste management especially is the future for women.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
you just believe in yourself. I think that is what Vivekananda ji also mentioned. Believe in yourself. Then if there is, gender does not matter. What work you do does not matter. It has to be something which is good for the society. Just believe in that and you will achieve.
Thank you, ma'am. As building on what Sheji also said, and you also said that your parents believed in you. And so I think today's youth require a space from their parents as well, in order to build on their dreams as well as achieve what they intend to do out there. Without parent support, that may not be really possible. So
it's much easier than how it was for us those days.
True, ma'am. True, ma'am. Ma'am, sadly, I became a doctor. I studied medicine, but that was because I wanted to. My parents didn't force me to. So that was my dream. So yes, so becoming a doctor is not a bad thing, and becoming an engineer is also not a bad thing if you really want
Definitely.
it. So,
right. That's it.
Yes.
Whatever you want, that is what is
Absolutely,
most
ma'am.
important.
Absolutely, ma'am. But I share your thoughts that today is the world of time of being agile and looking into entrepreneurship, because we are not looking at very standard jobs and going into all those placements. If the youth wants, they can do things for themselves. They do not need to wait for a government job or to whatever, a standard stream of thoughts. They can do whatever they want. And today's government has offered a number of opportunities for them to take advantage of and look at entrepreneurship as a viable option.
Dinesh,
Yeah.
there is one question actually I would like to ask you. Basically, we have spoken about it, like, you today in your keynote, you mentioned about IPL match. And I remember that sometime back you were giving a statistical figure, like one IPL match, how much, I think you were talking about Chidambaram Stadium or Chinnaswamy, one of these.
Chinnaswamy.
Yeah, Chinnaswamy.
Yeah.
So one IPL match, how much garbage or the wastage it accumulates? And because why I'm saying is that most of us over here, we have ICC, we have Indian Sports Center members, we have sports enthusiasts are there in today's session. So at least that can create an awareness, and also you can tell about the mitigation plan, what can be done in such situations. And I remember, let me emphasize on one point. You had mentioned that the most of the wastage had come from the VIP stands, not from the
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's true. Right. Yeah, it was actually in 2019, the IPL match in Chinnaswamy Stadium. We tried this out. This was part of the EU project. And those days, we still did not have the single-use plastic ban. Today, we have that. And we are happy that we also contributed to bringing about this change in India. And today, government has also recognized this and is working towards it. So in Chinnaswamy Stadium, what we had encountered was that, just in a few hours of the match, especially this was a 2020 match, all of you know IPL. And within that time, every single spectator used to generate the waste, which is for a week, how if he was at home, he would generate, that much time extra, additional was what he generated while he was sitting in the stadium. Because here it is mostly all single-use plastics, because you cannot have, everything has to be packed and served with, the very less time is there. And between the breaks is when they have to go and eat. And there's also kind of a peer pressure that even if you are not hungry, you would still want to eat. So, that is one thing. And the other things are all those props which you used to use, the flags, and everything made of plastic. So this is the kind of the resources that were used, and also the wastage that was generated. And each IPL match after this, it was such a big mess. And then taking this, because you can't segregate it also, so the whole thing goes as mixed waste. And it's a lot of pressure on the city now, which is hosting these kind of matches. And this is true not just for India for cricket matches, but this is true for all over the world, for all kinds of sports event, where spectators are there watching the sport. And that is why today there is a sustainable sports. And there was a project which was there in Europe, which is called the Green Goal, where they had various methods, and which was adopted to make sure that segregated waste is there. Use of single-use plastic also was phased out. And they had these ceramic cups, which was like a takeaway, which you can take it back. Australia also tried several such programs. And in India, of course, we can't have ceramic cups because then that will start flying on the cricketers. So that was that we could not do that. But then we had some other strategies, wherein certain in the stands, we actually banned certain food items, and flags and other things were put back and reused. And we also made certain bags and other items from the flags. And the plastic was banned with flags. It was again cloth which was used. So several such changes we brought about, and that stands now, and that is what is being followed. So this was a very interesting project. And this is something which the IMG, who was partnering, who was managing the sports shows in India, Indian IPL. I think they are also partnering with Qatar for the World Cup this year, end of this year. So they also have taken several recommendations which we gave to them in India during the IPL matches. So I'm sure this would be a good lessons learned and takeaway, which is now going to be introduced also in Qatar, hopefully.
Siddhi Suresh want ask one question. Siddhi.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hi, ma'am. My name is Siddhi Suresh. I'm a 12th grade student. So I had a question that have you ever faced any difficulty because of this career? As this career is not that talked upon, it's not that popular, because most popular career in India is being a doctor or an engineer. So have you ever faced any, complication with that aspect?
Yeah. Of course, when I started with waste management, it was not at all a glamorous job. And at that time, although I was very good in studies, people used to wonder, why did I take up this kind of a job when many of my classmates were sitting in I had taken up IT jobs and they were doing very well. They were earning also very well. So that was something which definitely, if I had compared, then it would have demotivated me. But somehow I was so engrossed with the cause itself that I did not even have the opportunity or the inclination to think of all that. And but I found it very, very interesting because I met new people every day. I was in the field, and for 1 minute, for the one moment, I was talking to people who were, the IAS officers and the politicians and the doctors and such high-profile people. But at the same time, the next moment, I would be with the rag pickers. Then I would be in the households talking to them about the behavioral change. So all kinds of people I met, and that was something which is very interesting. And I learned at every moment in this job, which was what I liked. And so there were no regrets. Of course, a lot of challenges that every career has. So that was there. But that is why, once you love a job, then I think nothing else matters. And you will find success. It'll take time, but you will find success. And that success is going to be great.
Okay. I also had a question that as I am the part of the youth and the children, so is there anything we could do to help, make the waste management process easier?
Yeah. Yes, this is why we designed a project called Green Campus, wherein we have, I always believe that right from the school itself, you have to participate in such activities, projects, because this is what I did. And that is the reason, like, I loved this work. And because if you're just studying, then you will not know what to do. Whereas get engaged in every activity in the school, be part of it, and then be out, meet people, talk to people, take up project works, do it on your own. And that brings in a lot of confidence. So I think what you could do is, I'm sure the career, all your courseworks, your, if I think it's CBSE, which is what is followed there in the Indian schools. And these subjects offer project works, which you can do on your own, even if your school does not have it, or allow you or encourage you to do it. You could take it up directly as a group and then take up projects on waste management or any environmental management or whichever you like. And it's not like our times. Today, there are a lot of internet forums where you can log in and be part of groups and exchange your ideas. So that's something which you can do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sajivji, you can unmute and ask.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
My name is Sajiv Satishirat. I'm one of the managing committee member of ICC. So this waste management I have here in 2002-3 that time, because in Rajagiri College they done a waste management project and they made one road with this plastics. You may know about, aware about that. That was the first time which I heard about the waste management. Now, actually, in Kerala, I'm from Kerala. In Kerala, it is waste management is not a waste management. It is a disaster management, because last time 2 years back when I was traveling from my own district to next district and reached to Trivandrum, I didn't see one waste bin in National Highway, because I want to put one plastic bottle there. It was not possible because a lot of waste locations are there, but there is no proper waste management system. So what you can propose in our state or in our country, especially the villages, the village areas, panchayat or municipality, because this is a big disaster in waste management. What is your proposal for them? And how the politicians and the rulers supporting this waste management? I don't think that they are interested in waste management.
No, it's not true that they're not interested. Today, in fact, in most of the places, waste management is also a political issue, and you can make or break your political career because of waste management. There are many cities where this is also one of the voting criteria for candidates. So waste management actually is figuring in manifestos. So I think that's a good development, and a lot of schemes are there. In fact, Kerala itself has been one of the best example is the Kutumba Shri initiative, where they are recycling the dry waste. So there are across Kerala now, segregated waste is being collected, and with a fee. So it is happening, but it's taking time because awareness should also increase. And of course, the issue with Kerala is that disposal facilities, it's very difficult because of less space. And, not in my backyard syndrome is very high in Kerala. Sometimes awareness can also be negative in this sense, because nobody wants any waste management center near their house. So they are up in, they kind of protest and all that. So the final processing of waste is an issue in Kerala, which needs to change. So people should understand that waste management processing is like any other industry. So how you manage, it's not dumping, because that was the old thought. Today, processing means it is a processing center, which is just like an industry. So even those industries should have all the environmental management, like air pollution, water pollution, all these controls should be there. Then it's another industry. So everywhere in India now, and there's also a change in the thought today, because earlier waste management was considered to be a service which the government has to provide. Now that thought is also moving away, and entrepreneurs are coming up. I know of entrepreneurs in Kozhikode, where they are doing a lot of processing of different types of waste and making use of it. So that's the thinking is there. There is a good direction also. So, and you mentioned about Rajgiri College. In fact, that college is India's first, the college which has got the NAC rating, which is the first with the highest CGP. And that has happened because of all these kind of initiatives. So very forward-thinking college.
Rajagiri College is a training center for all the people. So,
right. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Shoban.
Friends, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please, for a minute?
Yeah.
Before
we... Can you wait, madam?
Yeah.
Chandana, sir.
You're muted, sir.
Chandana, sir, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about the waste management in India. The philosophy in Germany is, before you treat any waste, try to avoid it. Number one, that's the philosophy. Number one is the philosophy, try to avoid it. And then try to make different processes. As far as in Germany is concerned about the plastic waste management, it is forbidden to use plastic bag. And only in case you buy anything in big market in mails, they ask you, ma'am or sir, do you need a plastic bag? If you say yes, then you pay a lot of money. And the new thing is in France, from next year, there is absolutely a plastic bag is forbidden. No plastic. If you buy some vegetables or bring some back from to house, but using plastic in France from next year is forbidden. That's just I to end my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, Chandna sir is one of the pioneers in waste management, BASF. In fact, he has been in the environmental wing for many, many years.
You mean Baya?
Yeah. And so he's an authority in it, a scientist who has worked much before even we were born.
My base project was in Amritsar, in Bhaktanwal landfill. It's 60-year-old, 60-year-old, and it was a big problem. I spent 3 years there, and you can't imagine how difficult it was to talk with the politics. They always say yes and yes. And when I was there, I told them, please, so long as I'm in Amritsar, I don't want to listen to their word, ye kaam ho jayega. Ye kaam ho jayega. It means ye kaam nahi hoega. And this is what it happened. They always promise you promise, always say. But the big problem is they are very good idea, very good methods, but to transform with the help of politics, sometimes it's very, very, very difficult.
Thank you, sir.
He
Speaking.
Okay, one second. Anshu want to leave. So she want to leave? Yeah. She want to say something. Anshu, then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I'm truly honored to be a part of this great event. I mean, and first of all, I was just willing to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Harbans Lal Chandna. So it's truly a delight to have you. It's truly an honor to have you with us today. Thank you so very much for being here with us. I mean, I was just trying to do that. And a special mention to Ms. Venetia, ma'am. Thank you so, so very much. I mean, what could be a better way to celebrate National Youth Day here in Qatar than you joining with us and inspiring us with your motivational words and all the things that you have put together, took us through your journey, and enhanced our vision regarding what is the importance of looking around. There are so many more options to look forward to, and all you need to have is that faith and believe in yourself, and there is nothing that can stop you from achieving what you really wish in life. And certainly, me personally, I have taken up so many things which is going to be there as the New Year resolution with me forever. Like that's how it is. Thank you so very much, ICC Indian Sports Center, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this great event. Thank you.
Thank you.
No issues. We'll call Vinisha ji again for our students forum. I wish he addressed them also, because now you see, in every youth in India always think about the government job immediate after their study, otherwise private job. The third option is migrate to any abroad.
I know.
Now she's
all of you should come back to India.
Yeah. Now she want to, they come back to India for new startup, entrepreneur. So this is a new idea. So which I wish she will discuss this is with our students forum members also.
Definitely, sir. You have to invite her soon again.
We will get her again. However, Shobhan want to ask something. Please.
So, Babu sir, just a second. Just Shafiq, I would just like also to mention the inspiring words that we got to hear from Dr. Sahil. Indeed, I mean, he took us through the journey of Swami Vivekananda, his teachings, his learnings, which is indeed the need of the hour for all the youths out here. And especially when we have so many young attendees. So thank you so much, Dr. Sahil, for all those inspiring words. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Shobhan here.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Shobhan, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, all dignitaries. Ma'am, thank you for inspiring words. My question is, as Babu sir mentioned, I was waiting for the question. So as young Indians, as young NRIs, we want to come back to India as a business startups. So how government is going to support us in terms of funding or subsidiaries, how we can get benefits if we come up with good ideas and projects?
Yeah, there are several startup funds which are available. And in fact, about the MSME site, if you go, you can get all those different schemes which are available. There are also special funds for, if you're thinking of waste management, then there are many funds, especially with the Prime Minister's Scientific Advisory Council. The Waste to Wealth mission is there. The Technology Development Board gives you funds for commercialization of the ideas. So that is again another important thing. Then there are several venture capitalists who are also willing to fund for good ideas. And now there are so many departments which are coming up with challenges. So you can look at the government websites where you will have these challenges which are given. There are the calls for challenges which you can give your ideas, and if you win it, then you get grants. You can also be in touch with CII, FICCI, those kind of industrial organizations, which also support startups. So I think there are so many opportunities. You just need to look at different ministries. You can also approach me if it is something to do with environment and waste management. I can guide you also.
Thank you, madam. Even for the waste management, I'm from Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, along with my colleague, we tried earlier 2 years ago, but there are big people like corporate people are there in Hyderabad. Already they started, they're having investment of huge in crores.
Yeah, but that is, see, that's again the way you think, because everybody thinks that only in cities you can do waste management. No, because if you're starting as a small startup, try and do it in small towns and in villages. That is where you have more scope, because cities already you need to have big investment and big corporates. Whereas in towns and cities, for all small startups, that's the best way to go. And don't always think that it is only solid waste, which is from households. But you can think of e-waste management, e-waste recycling. You can think of hazardous waste, biomedical waste, the C&D waste, because in India that is something which is new, which has a lot of scope. That's the construction demolition waste. Then I mean, there are now ELV is there. That's end of life vehicles, waste management. So,
Nisha, I can only support your idea.
Thank you, madam.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Renu Malhotra. May I have your contact or how to be in touch with you?
Yeah, what you could do is, I think it's better to go through ICC. If Babu sir, I think that would be a better idea, because rather than you contacting me directly, I think it could be done, because this is organized also through the AGs of ICC. So I think you can contact them. And if there are many people like you who are interested, then we could think of some collaboration also. So that is a better route, I think. It's not that I don't want to give my contacts, but I think this would be a better organized and better structured way of working. So.
Renugaji, no problem. We will catch up. No issues.
Yes, sir. I'll be in touch with you. Thank you.
If there are no more questions to Madam, we have taken half an hour more than what we promised her. I think she has taken that all the ideas she tried to tell our questions answered very well. Now I invite Manjit to propose vote of thanks. Manjit.
Before that, I want to say thanks to Shreji for inspiring us about the sports.
India.
Yeah. Yes, Manjit.
I think Sheji is not there.
Sheji left, sir. Sheji, I just text him.
I'm here.
Sheji is here. Sheji is here.
Yeah, Sheji, thank you very much for your time. And the video we will upload in the Facebook. Thank you.
We will ask all parents to, ask their children to go to the ground for exercise, not only study.
And also get inspired by nature.
Yes. We'll bring Sheji to front line, inshallah.
Yeah.
Well, sir, thank you. Good evening, all.
Thank you, sir.
It's a great honor for me to present the vote of thanks on behalf of whole team for the wonderful evening program. First of all, I would like to thank Ms. Benisha Payatatti, Board Member of Technology Development Board, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. Thank you, ma'am. You had given a keynote address to all of the members and the attendees, and you have given a brief idea about the waste management, and also you have inspired the people to be an entrepreneur. Hope to see you in the upcoming events as well as. I would like to thank you once again. I would like to thank ISC Vice President, Mr. Saji Waliyekta, Indian Sports Center Vice President. Thank you for your inspiring word. Hope to see all the youth members to join with you in the ground. Now I would like to thank Mr. Anshu Jain. She already left the meeting, and also our today's chief guest, Mr. Dr. Sahil Kumar, the first Secretary, Political and Economics, Embassy of India. Now, I also would like to thank Mr. Babu Rajan sir, President of ICC, and also today's functions President. I would also like to thank Mr. Krishna Kumar sir, the General Secretary of Indian Cultural Center. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Subramanya Hebbagulu, Vice President of Indian Cultural Center. But last but not the least, ICC Executive Committee members, Abdullah Paul and Dishari Roy, who has presented the welcome speech and the brief about the ICC Youth Wing. Last but not the least, all the participants who has taken their time to participate in this event for 2 hours. I would like to thank each and everyone, and happy evening and good night.
I would like to thank Mr. Chandra sir. Chandra sir was there in the Zoom right from almost 6 o'clock. I think whenever I am logging in, he was there. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time.
Most welcome.
Krishna Kumarji, it was, and I was very happy to see him after a couple of years. And it was just your flyer was shared across yesterday without a word, but thank you, sir, you being here, and very happy to see you also. And after, I think 3 years or 4 years, 3 years. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, Chandra sir. He is the youth icon, actually. So the most energetic, the most energetic youth.
Yeah.
And very, very inspiring.
So nice of you, sir.
Yes, and special thanks to Vinod Nair for arranging Benisha ji for today's event. Even yesterday also, I am trying for getting somebody for a keynote speech. So last minute only, like lunchtime only, I contacted Vinod ji. Then I am following up like minute by minute. Then evening I got a surprise. So thank you, Vinod ji, for your timely support. You see, Arvind ji is joined from Bangalore. Thank you, Arvind ji, for joining. And like everybody said, Chandra ji, thank you very much for reaching to us through online. We'll meet you again.
Okay, sir. It's my privilege.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Babuji. Thank you very much, Babuji.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all.
We'll meet you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the nice evening.
After a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vinod.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Sana.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you and good night all.
Good night,
Even
everyone.
Vinodji's